when we get into port, this small, we'll call it a small port town along the river, there is it's raining. Staying on the boat is possible, but not preferred. But as we go to the one place where, an inn or tavern, whatever it's going to be called, they are reluctant to allow you inside or anyone associated with you, because while they're not against your, they don't actively hate you. It's inconvenient because as they say, there are spies everywhere. And if they were to be seen associated with you, then that could be trouble for them.
So all it is whether we get to stay here.
Right.
Okay.
It's a very simple, low.
This is totally low. I get to choose, right? Because it's me, so it's low stakes, right?
Yep.
And then the next one, though, is that there's something about and then I can use you as an asset. So basically, it's all me. You're not even really involved, except to agree that I can use you.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
In that case,
yes, I will lend you my aid in this case.
Okay. So what I do is I take D6 and I grab my score, and I don't have 7 or more, so I can't split or anything like that.
Okay.
And so, or set up a reaction. I can't do that. So what I am going to do is roll my dice, and then there's a bonus. It says assets give bonus dice. How many do I get?
2, typically.
Okay. So therefore, I'm using, here we go. Enlightenment, status, and honor. Right. So it's not martial prowess. I'm not hitting them or demonstrating my prowess. General understanding the guy. Okay, this is unfortunately, it's going to have to be status. Right. Now, you're a status asset. That means I can only use you for status rolls. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that makes sense. And can I use more than one asset, or is it just one?
That's a good question. No, you can use one asset per roll.
Good idea. Otherwise, you get this silly stacking going on all the time, and my loyal followers show up like everywhere. Right, and that's ass.
Right.
So okay.
But once you use me for this particular, and this is part of the structure, which may eventually go away, but for right now, in this particular part of this act, you can use an asset once. Because otherwise, it's like, I go to the bathroom and I use my asset. It's like, okay.
Exactly. No, I totally get that. So there we go. Now I am up to 6 dice, therefore, and I roll. And here's what we see. I need a 5 or a 6 for a hit. I get absolutely no hits.
Okay.
And let's also back up just a little bit, because this was scattered all over the text. Which is, what the hell am I rolling against?
You are rolling against the tavern owner, is what we call him. He has what they call 3. He's a 3.
Right. Okay.
This is what you're up against. Okay. So in essence, he would have negated 3 of your
hits. Okay. Right. Now let's look at this for a second. Right. You had a card for the tavern owner. I don't know if you chose it or if you.
For this, it would have I randomly rolled, randomly chose.
Right. So either way, though, that means it could go all the way up to 10.
Well, actually, I don't know if I remembered to put that in the prep for just for the random things that happen, 2 to 5. So it can only go up to 5.
Right. Let's think about that. No, there's also right. Now here you have, in your example, somebody who is up against 2 eunuchs who have 2 each, so she needs 4. Right. Okay, so here you have 4. I'm up against a 3, and it can go all the way up to 5.
Right.
Do you know how many dice I'd have to roll to have even an even chance of getting this?
It's
I'd have to roll like 12 or 13 or 15 dice.
To get the correct number, yeah, that's a
And
lot of dice.
and not only that, but then you have these things called dodges, which basically knock off more of the hits.
Right.
Which this is
Mm.
okay. So basically, I'm never going to succeed.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, the game's over now. No, that is fairly clear about.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Okay.
let's just carry on with these things. And so since it's a low result, and since I fail, I get weariness. And to go back here to our discussion, weariness, lost in conflicts, and it doesn't say how much, I think.
Oh, that is. It does say that.
Maybe
Let's see.
somewhere, but
It's you lose one. You lose one weariness.
okay. Oh, right, there it is. For a low stakes, this is one weariness. For high stakes, it is two. Okay. So, all right. Also, it's not too clear at the moment, and I don't mean this to be like an editorial comment, but just thinking the number, like the 3 on that card, is that dodges, or is dodges something else that goes on top of that?
That's supposed to be dodges
Okay,
for
good
the
enough.
moment.
Good enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too sure. But okay, so with that in mind, we have oh, I didn't see whether I rolled 3 ones or not. Let's say I got 3 ones in there.
Okay, so
Okay.
you
So
faced a.
now I get a face down low shame, and that means I don't know what it is, right? You just give me a face down card.
Right, I give you. I give you a. No, not that. Not 10. But, all right, so let's grab this.
I don't know if I got 3 ones, but I rolled a bunch of really low numbers, and I probably, let's say I did.
So yeah, I would pull out a card. I would slip that over. If
Right.
we're at the table, I slip that over to you. And at some point, I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it is. At some point, I said, "All right, your
Yeah.
shame comes into play."
Perfect. Yeah. The consequence of all this crap that happened back there. No, I like
Right.
that actually. So okay, we've got that. And then anything, and I've used up my asset for this particular set of things. Okay,
Right.
so that takes us through that. Now let's try it with you. Let's say that in a somewhat related situation a little bit later, that you've actually been we've actually been boarded by
Oh,
a rival merchant who is doing quite well with this whole script thing, and
right.
um, has you don't know whether he's been hired to do this. You don't know whether it's on his own hook, but he hates your guts anyway. So it makes perfectly good sense that you know you know one eye one eye Han is going to come and get you.
Right.
And so we've been boarded, and now here he comes, and he's got his wicked shipboard curved short sword
Right.
that is he's perfectly happy to claim this ship for his own. Now
Yeah.
this sounds like kind of a nemesis, and maybe play along the way has landed you with this nemesis. So let's
Well,
yeah, because there's a way to
that's a
do
great.
that. Yeah.
That's a great point to bring up the nemesis. The nemesis too is chosen right before play starts,
Right.
so it may not be related to the legacy.
Right.
In this case, it's a great example. We're here dealing with
Yeah, we're dealing with
your
my issues,
legacy.
but yours cropped up too this week.
Right. And the reason that for that is so that we're dealing with Ron's legacy today, but Sean's nemesis shows up. Is that a distraction for me? Am I going
But
to
I get
focus on
that.
going after the
What I
nemesis?
was
Yeah.
looking at was another rule, which is that what if you had bowed out of a conflict earlier and then chosen to add a new nemesis based on the
Yeah.
incidental stuff? We had never met One-Eyed Han before, but after you bowed out of
Right.
that high stakes contest, well, we sure have now. So
Right.
okay.
Yes.
So either way, here he
Yeah.
is causing us a hassle. And
Right.
so in this case, you are up against getting chopped by him.
Yeah.
So
So that's
what are you
going to
going to
be.
do?
I am going to use honor
Mm-hmm.
to chop back, my goal will be to kill him,
Mm-hmm.
or at the very least, kick him into the water.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 5
And I'll
dice.
certainly help you.
Right.
Or wait, my assets. Yeah, it's on your honor, right? Yeah, so you can
Yes.
use me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So grab a couple
So I
dice
call
for that. Mm-hmm.
Right. Maybe I say, hey, can you either help me in the fight, or can your bodyguard help me in the fight? However that
Bodyguard,
works.
smarty guard. I'm on it.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to have 7 dice, and he's actually going to be pretty difficult, because I like the idea of, let's represent him as part of the nemesis issue, or the new nemesis. He's the new Hawk.
He is your own new nemesis. Yeah.
So I have an honor of 5, and I have an asset of 2.
And what are you rolling against? Well, how many dodges are you up against?
I'm up against, what was I? 6.
Okay.
6 dodges. And I think I know why that bit is incoherent, but we'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
I only had okay, so I didn't roll. Let's see. I do have 3 6s.
Right. Well, you fail, but you get a triumph of some kind. So you get
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I failed. Right. I suffer weariness.
This one would have been high stakes, by the way, I think.
Yes, this was high stakes.
2 weariness.
Yes. I suffer 2 weariness. We fight him off, but not very successfully. However,
wait a minute. How do you fight him off? You failed.
Well, he doesn't kill us. Put it that way, he doesn't kill us. Maybe he takes over our boat.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, no, we lose. I mean, definitely lose.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to point out is that the ability, just as written at the moment, it seems at the moment it doesn't seem that you can really get, killed in any conflict unless you've been really, really battered down in your weariness all the way down from 12.
Right.
So we're just going to observe that and move on. Okay.
Yeah,
so
we're driven off the boat for now.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's One-Eyed Han has stolen your boat.
Has stolen my boat.
Right. Okay. So with that going on, then let me.
I do get a triumph for that. So
let me consider something. And that would be another big game of that time, which was Burning Wheel.
Okay.
Now, in Burning Wheel, a single die is a success on a 4, 5, or 6.
Right.
And similarly, you're always up against an opposed roll, and the successes that they get are subtracted from the successes you get, and that's your effect. Not to put too fine a point on it, given that in Burning Wheel, you're, in many cases, not really rolling that many dice. 5, 6, or 7 dice is a big roll. A whole lot of nothing happens.
Right.
And we can even take it back to the Shadowrun technique, which was emulated by White Wolf, in which you were rolling either D6s or D20s or some damn thing. I forget which was which. And D10s for White Wolf, D6s for Shadowrun. That's right. And you had a target number on each die as well as a varying number of dice. So therefore, if you had like a 6 as a target number, like I think that was your skill in Vampire, then you needed to get like a 6 or higher, or a 6 or lower, something. You needed, 6 or lower, and that counted the die as a success. And then your attribute said how many dice you roll.
Yes.
Now, here's the point. Again, what you're saying is that a fair number of the dice you roll basically just evaporate. Then you have to go and look at either the target number or the opposing roll result, either one, and subtract it from your already subtracted from dice.
Right.
So basically, your dice are taking a double whammy by
Yeah.
definition.
Yeah, they are.
And so the only solution, of course, is then to have more and more and more dice. But the point is that that's more and more and more dice to process mentally as you go along.
Right.
Right. So if you're going to
Yeah.
roll 20 dice, I guess that overcomes the problem. But why should I have to comb through 20 dice for 7 or less,
Yes.
in order to do this
Exactly.
and then do my subtraction and all the rest of it? The handling time's really annoying.